welcome to I-roc Shoe Corporation. I'm Dr. Steve Chapman, together with Roger Dutilli, Pavan Singh. We're the founders of I-roc Shoe Company. I-roc Shoe Company is a developer of a revolutionary new sole design designed to help eliminate plantar fasciitis, hip pain, lower back pain. This came about because of hip pain I was having, which was preventing me from being in my office. What we ended up finding through CAT scans and x-rays and other studies we did, it was my feet that were giving out, not my hips. The challenge was to come up with a new sole design that mimicked people walking in sand, which is striking with the heel, rolling to the outside, and pushing off with a big toe. The other challenge was when someone stands in a stationary position, how do you support the bottom of the foot on a hard surface? What happens with the I-roc shoe? When you step down, the sole flexes up and takes the shape of the foot. We do not force the foot into any shape. The other thing that happens when plantar fasciitis progresses beyond that stage, it then moves to where the bones start to collapse. When the bones of the foot collapse, the ankle comes in, the knees come in, the hips go out, the back comes forward. The I-roc shoe supports this weight. By holding this up, it allows the ankles to align themselves, the knees align themselves, the hips slide back in their socket. It takes the pressure off the lower back. It also allows a space down at the bottom of the foot where the blood vessels and the veins come through to open up. This allows more blood flow and the nerves to start regenerating themselves. What I'd like to do is introduce Pavan and have him explain some of the challenges we had in developing the sole.
The challenge which Dr. Steve Chapman brought to me was to come up with a footwear system which would duplicate walking on sand barefoot. So we had to design from the sole up. This is the I-roc sole. This is made out of a very special polyurethane compound, and it is very slip and abrasion resistant. If you look on the top, it's got 3D anatomical features in it. On the inside, you may probably not be able to see it, but it has a bump which you can feel. There are holes in the back which add to the stiffness and flexibility of the rear of the sole. There are 4 grooves in the front which make the shoe and the sole very flexible. You can bend it. I'll show you how the shoe can be bent in the front, which makes it very flexible, comfortable, and a very nice feeling to have a pair of these shoes on. There's a glass fiber shank which goes in the back and adds extra support to the arch area. This groove here was measured on CAD/CAM systems. The whole shoe was designed on a CAD/CAM systems, and it is very accurate as to what it is designed to do. Here I will show you what happens when you wear a shoe with a conventional sole. This is a conventional sole which most of us wear on a day-to-day basis. And you can see that there is a big gap here. I can put my finger in there. What that means is the arch is not supported. And over a few years' time, without the support, this arch collapses, and thus all your problems related to the foot begin. Now I will show you what the I-roc sole does and how it supports the arch. Here we have the I-roc sole, and as you can see, when weight is applied, the sole flexes. What that does is supports the arch, because this part of the heel and the forepart have slightly gone down, and the arch is properly supported. I cannot push it down. This is how the arch was supposed to be according to Mother Nature. Now if you wear an I-roc sole and you have collapsed arches, the sole will bring the arch back to its natural position and start healing your feet. That will help you rid of problems like plantar fasciitis, ankle misalignment, knee problems, and hip problems, and lower back pain. The shoe comes with this footbed, which is a 2-density footbed. It has a slip-resistant, sweat-absorbing lining on the top, and it has 2 polyurethane gel caps in the bottom. So when you put this insole inside the shoe, you have to make sure that it is absolutely flat, and you must put your hand in there to ensure that. The beauty about this is that this shoe also comes with this flat footbed which is in the box, and you can customize this shoe to your needs because each one of us is different. If you have a shoe which is slightly loose, you might want to use both of these together. When you do that, you must make sure that you put the flat one on the bottom and the one with the PU gels on the top. And once again, you need to make sure that it is absolutely flat. On the other hand, if the shoe is a little bit tight on you, you might want to go with either one of these, and you can customize it to your feel and your requirements. That's the beauty about the shoe. If your big toe touches the front, you probably need to go half size up. But in spite of using both of them and you have some gap in there, you probably need to go half to one size down. I personally wear I-roc shoes without socks, but again, every one of us is different, and you can choose to wear them without or with socks. It is a very natural walk when you put these shoes on. So if you can wear them without socks, you get the natural feel of walking barefoot on sand. If you are one of those people who suffers from plantar fasciitis, sciatic nerve, knee pain, or hip pain, or lower back pain, I would invite you to try on a pair of these shoes, and I can assure you that you will be walking pain away.
During the last 35 years, I've had the privilege and the responsibility for development and manufacturing of well over 50 million pairs of shoes. 30 of those years were spent as general manager for several of Dexter Shoe Company's manufacturing facilities. When Dr. Steve Chapman called me and asked me to join the I-roc team, I was overwhelmed and looked forward to just making another product, another conventional shoe. I was totally wrong. Average footwear consists of probably 40 parts, synthetic and leather. Here's an example of an average pair of shoes that consist of synthetic pieces that go inside the shoe, foams for comfort, other synthetics for stability, the leather pieces. All of these have to be treated individually and prepared so that they can be united to form what we call an upper. An upper is the upper part of the shoe before a sole is applied to it. This upper has to be lasted over a foot form, which is called a last. It's heated, it's stretched, activated, and flows over the bottom of an inner sole before the sole is attached to it. What I didn't realize is that the I-roc sole was so unconventional. The pressure that it applied on the arch or into the arch area and the way it flexed, it threw all of conventional shoe wisdom out the door. That challenge obviously we overcame, and we finally got to the final product. Personally, I have made millions of pairs of shoes. I have never made a shoe. It was so gratifying for me to see people buy the I-roc shoe, wear it, and almost in tears state, "My pain is gone." For me, that was unusual. I've never made footwear that's had that type of reaction. I'm very proud of being part of the I-roc team. If you have lower back pain, plantar fasciitis, or any type of foot pain, I just want to share with you what some of our happy I-roc customers have to say about their experiences wearing the I-roc shoe.
My experience with I-roc has been fabulous. I suffered from cramps in the lower back, and since I started using the shoes, my pain has diminished. Almost no pain at all. I use them all the time and have been using them for the past 1.5 years. I exercise and walk with them and would recommend them to everybody. My experience with I-roc has been tremendous, fabulous. Since I have been using the product, I have zero leg pain. The arch of my foot always had immense pain, but ever since using the I-roc shoe, there is no pain. I recommend them to anyone. Use them and see you will have very good results.
You'll see from our testimonials that we've helped thousands of people from plantar fasciitis to lower back pain. We hope you'll give us a try, and you can either call our 800 number or visit us on the web if you have further questions. Remember, walk pain away the I-roc way.